Are you looking for a way to create passive income in 2025 that doesn't require you to quit your job, learn complicated skills, or risk your life savings? I'm about to show you why vending machines are the most beginner-friendly passive income opportunity of 2025. I've helped hundreds of people build vending machine businesses while working full-time jobs. And today, I'm gonna break down exactly why this business model is perfect for anyone looking to build real passive income, even if you're lazy or have less than $1,000 to your name. Chapter 1. Why most passive income ideas ultimately fail. The reality is most people love the concept of passive income, but they don't want to put in the upfront work to make them successful. And this is where the opportunities tend to not happen. Think about it. Everyone loves the concept of real estate, but what's the number one barrier to breaking into real estate? It's the capital that's needed. Nowadays, you can't get a home or an investment project done without putting a minimum of 20% down. Now it's even more often that you have to put 25% down to get a loan for that investment or passive income real estate project. Or people are afraid about the saturation when it comes to some passive income idea. Like the thing that fascinates me about ATMs, I'm a huge believer in cash flow just with my background in vending, but the ATM market is absolutely saturated and they're just getting rolled up into bigger and bigger routes from these bigger players that can get away with taking a lesser fee and giving that to the building owner. And all these small mom and pop ATM routes are failing because of the market saturation. The other barrier to passive income ideas is also the skills needed. A lot of people don't have the skill sets that it takes to become an entrepreneur and build that passive income stream. And because of that lack of skill and lack of knowledge, they ultimately fail on their face. When you're building a passive income model, the first thing you gotta think through is realizing what you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. And this is also another example of why people fail, is they just think passive income from the start, and that's not the reality. You gotta get to a point, just like buying that rental, if it's an Airbnb that you're gonna leverage for passive income, you actually gotta find the rental, find the good deal just to get started. Or in the vending machine case, my route, sure, it cash flows passively now, but actually finding those initial locations, it took a lot of upfront work, and that's ultimately any type of passive income stream is gonna require that upfront work, and those that aren't willing to do that are gonna fall flat on their face. Chapter 2, the vending machine advantage. Of all my different passive income streams, obviously I'm a little biased towards vending machines for a multitude of reasons. The first reason is there's no skills required. It's not like I went to school to study vending machines or to study the business and the market of unattended retail. I didn't do any of that at all. Literally with the power of YouTube and making connections, I self-taught how to build a vending route just like you can. The second thing that's exciting about the vending machine advantage is also you can really get started with minimal capital down. It was fascinating when I bought my first machine and I did zero money down, and I could use the sales and the profits from that machine to pay off the machine early. I had no idea that there was access to different financing plans. Just like when you go buy a car, they're gonna straight up ask you, do you wanna finance the machine or use capital up front, and use that leverage to drive scale with more and more locations. The other advantage with vending is also the idea that it's doing sales without you. This is the whole point and why so many people now are trying to get away from human labor and drive towards unattended retail. Think about it. That coffee shop down in the lobby is only open till 11 a.m. If you ask anyone at the front desk, why is it only open to 11? It's because they don't have enough workers and baristas to keep it open for any longer. Well, what if we did a micro market down there that had coffee, cold brew, all the different options, all times of the day? That's where the 24/7 sales comes about. I still remember in that airport, when I first got into vending, it's because I was in an airport in Denver at 11 p.m. after my flight was delayed, and I went to buy a bottle of water that I knew cost 20 cents at Costco, and I paid $2 for it. And who was making money off me at that time was at home sleeping. This was the aha moment where I realized there's definitely an advantage when it comes to vending machines as a passive income stream. And if you don't believe me on that, the crazy thing is, last Saturday, everyone was out and about doing their thing. I was literally sitting on the couch watching playoff football, and our machine did $271 on that Saturday while I was at home with my kids watching football. Chapter 3, the numbers don't lie. One of the simplest and exciting things about vending is it's extremely tangible. You know what that Celsius cost you. You also know what someone bought it out of your machine. It's very simple to understand the numbers. Let me explain. When you think about a machine and what it does for revenue, you also got to think, well, what is it doing for profits? Because that's ultimately what we care about. So for simple math, let's say one of our smart machines does $2,000 a month in revenue. Right away, you can budget for around 30 to 35% of that 2,000 bucks to be towards cost of goods. So if we're using that machine that's doing $2,000 a month, our cost of goods is going to be right around 650 to 700 bucks. So to be conservative, let's round up to $700. Also, there's going to be some fees and maybe revenue share that are going to be associated merchant services with that machine. So of that $2,000 of revenue, let's say 10 to 15% of that is for those hidden fees. So let's just shoot high again, be conservative. 15% of $2,000, we're looking at right around 300 bucks. So now we're up to 1,000 bucks in expenses between the cost of goods, which was 700 bucks, and the $300 in hidden fees. So you can look at right there, of that $2,000, you just profited 1,000 bucks a month, which is wild when you start to factor in how much money you probably put down for that machine and how much that thing is cash flowing compared to an asset like real estate. I still remember our first machine, it did $600 in sales in month one. I was cash flow profiting 300 bucks, which was more than our $80,000 rental back in the Midwest that was cash flowing the same exact amount. Yes, you got to factor in appreciation with real estate, but you can see how lucrative stacking more and more locations can be when you got $2,000, 50% of its profits. Let's say you don't want to stock the machines and you want to make it passive like me, then you can even hire someone at 20 bucks an hour to go stock that machine twice a week. 20 bucks an hour times 2 hours a week, that's 40 bucks, 4 weeks. Right there, you're looking at 160 bucks and you're still profiting over $800 and you're not even the one stocking the machine anymore. Like, that is truly how you can scale this thing and just start stacking more and more locations, because the numbers don't lie. It's so simple and tangible to understand. Oh, I got this Celsius for $1, I sell it for 4 bucks. You times that by 100 products, you're doing literally $2,000 a month. I mean, that's just working backwards on 60 to 70 bucks a day, which is nothing. That's like 10 items. I still remember one of our students who's a teacher down in Texas, when he actually profited 1,200 bucks with one of his first machines. He did over 2,500 bucks a month, and he was so excited because that machine was doing $80 to $90 a day, and he was profiting 1,200 bucks, and his take-home pay from that machine was over half of his W-2 salary, and he was only spending 2 hours a week on that machine. And he was so excited because he realized, now I can separate time from money instead of always having to work for money. Now his assets are doing the work for him. Chapter 4, why 2025 is the perfect time. 2025 is the perfect time because vending is going through a massive disruption. What I mean by that is vending's nothing new. It's been around for decades and decades, starting way back in countries like Japan. What's really happening is the AI and the technology is flipping the industry on its head. And this is why in 2025, you're gonna start to see unattended retail start to become the $40 billion industry it's on track to do in the next 2 years. Think about it. Everywhere you go now, there's either some type of self-checkout kiosk or some type of ability to go pay for something and not talk to a human. This is not going anywhere because people love automated shopping. Now when you go to the store, the self-checkout lines are actually longer than waiting in line for a human to bag up your groceries, purely because people love to stay in their lane and not interact with other humans. There's a convenience factor to that. In the next 2 years, we're gonna have bookstores in these airports, like those Hudson stores, that are gonna have no employees. You're literally gonna put your credit card to get in the gate, and then you're gonna have to pay for your items to leave the gate when you leave the store. That's not going anywhere. Automated shopping is here to stay, And that's where I think it really dovetails nicely, because it also plays into the labor shortage we've seen. Think about the Walgreens announcement last week. They're shutting down 1,200 stores. They can't have enough employees that are reliable, and the sales don't justify to keep these retail chains of Walgreens open. So guess what? People are gonna need to get convenience and get those over-the-counter items like the DayQuils and the NyQuils and the sunscreen from somewhere else. And that's the beauty of where vending and smart vending is headed. The biggest thing people miss with this is they think that the market is saturated, and to me, competition doesn't matter. I'm a huge Mark Cuban. I don't care about patents. I care about outworking the person next to me to ultimately win the game. And this is the same thing in vending. Right now, there are more and more places that could use unattended and smart stores than ever before. You don't have to put the big bulky machine in a luxury lobby of a hotel because it's an eyesore. Now you can put the smart machine, so now those staffs at the front desk aren't handing out snacks or having a cooler of drinks that they have to restock. You can do it for them. And this is the beauty of why 2025 is the perfect time for unattended retail. Chapter 5, perfect for the 9-to-5 worker. The great thing about vending is you literally can build this as a side hustle. When most of our vendingpreneurs get started with their routes, they all have 9-to-5s. And this is what's really cool, is these machines can be stocked on your time. If you have a late night itch to stock your machines, go for it. Be that late night owl. If you're an early riser and you love to get things knocked out in the morning, like Charles does on his way to teach at school, go stock your machines then. It doesn't matter. The beauty of this is in the flexibility. You have the freedom to build your vending route around your schedule. When I first started stocking machines, I would always do it when I was going out to either hit balls or when I was going out to the grocery store or running errands. I never let the empty machine control my schedule. Think about it. If your machine runs out of a row of Celsius, they're just gonna buy a Lonnie. It doesn't matter. It's not life or death. And that's the beauty of building a vending machine route, is because you can ultimately schedule this around your time with your family, around your 9-to-5, and ultimately make it passive and hire someone to run the route yourself. Chapter 6, common objections answered. Isn't the market saturated? That's a question I get all the time. And I always answer it with, absolutely. It's saturated with old school machines. This is now your opportunity to come in and present this value with a new micro market or a new smart machine that's going to offer a completely different level of service than ever seen before. So yeah, it's definitely saturated with vending machines, but the wrong ones. They're still using flip phones when you're giving them an iPhone, and that is your advantage. Another common objection I always get is, do you need business experience to get started with vending? And this is a fascinating one because I had zero business experience when I got into vending. In fact, I was doing things like Google how to build an LLC, how to find all of the insurance requirements, and we've taken all of those things that we self-did, and now we built it into our community to help like-minded people that are gonna have those same questions without the business experience. And now we're helping them streamline and make their life easier by offering those types of tools, because you don't need vending experience. There's not even a college degree for that. This is the whole beauty of building this from the ground up with zero business experience. What if I have no money? This is a common question I get with regards to how to pay for machines, how to finance a machine, and ultimately use good leverage. I'm never gonna tell anyone they should go take on some debt for a machine and take out a loan, but I'll say this, a lot of these machine manufacturers offer very creative financing, and if you have a good location that's cash flowing very well, you will have no problem paying off that loan 4 to 5x faster than you were actually supposed to. And this is the beauty of using good debt to your advantage. A common objection that I've lived multiple times is, what if a machine breaks down? What do I do? Well, the first machine I ever bought was a used one from Craigslist, and that machine broke down 6 months into me having it. Once it broke down and I actually found a mechanic to help me, I literally realized that that machine was unrepairable. To take it a step further, any machine we get now, I'm a huge believer in going the new path. And the reason I love new machines is because I don't want to know or how to fix machines. I want these things under warranty, and I want these companies to have to service them for us, because our goal is not to be machine mechanics or to know the ins and outs of the underlings of vending machines. Our goal is to scale a route and be experts on the ability to drive cash flow, not how to fix a vending machine part that just broke. But Mike, isn't this too good to be true? That's another objection I always get. And I always say, no, it's only as good as what you put into it. Think about it. This is not going to be passive to start. So if you're just going to sit on the sidelines and hope that people come to you and a Google search sends you a lead that someone's looking for, no, you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and build a route, which is ultimately going to take some upfront work that's totally going to pay off down the road, and you will be able to make your route passive. But to start out, it's definitely not going to be easy, and so it's not too good to be true. Look, I know there are a lot of passive income opportunities out there in 2025, but after helping hundreds of people start successful vending machine businesses, I can tell you this is the most beginner-friendly way to build real passive income, especially if you're working a full-time job. If you want to learn exactly how to start your own vending machine business, I created a completely free step-by-step training that shows you everything you need to know. Just click the link somewhere around here or check out my channel for the video. Thanks for watching. Mr. Passive signing off.